Hey everybody, it's mid-March and we're sorry that we're giving you this update so late, but here we are.
Yes,
And
here,
you're going to
here.
hear from us at the beginning of April, right, Dan?
That's right.
I'll be in Las Vegas, you'll be in Florida, but we're committed to doing an update at that time.
That's right.
Um, so, Dan, let's see, we had 3,305 sales in Calgary for the month of February. That's a new record for
It
the month
is.
of February. We also had 64% of those sales were at or above asking price, about two-thirds. Remember last year we were just under one-third for our highest month. That was in May, and it was like,
Yes,
wow, almost a third of homes are sold at asking price or more.
yes, we were, and that's everything.
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah, if we actually dissect it, I mean, detached homes are probably like, I don't know, 75%, something like that.
Definitely.
Um, and we'll just talk a few more numbers, and we're gonna just have a conversation, Dan. So we'll talk months of inventory, and I think I want to focus more on this maybe next month too, Dan, as inventory, because that seems to be a huge factor with what's going on. Total months of inventory in all of Calgary, all property types right now is 1.09, which means we got a little over a month if no new listings hit the market until they're all gone. Um, Specifically detached, we're at 0.89, under a month of inventory there. Semi-detached is 1.04. Townhomes is exactly one month of inventory. And apartments, where they used to be at one point last year between 6.5 and 7 months of inventory, are now 1.89.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are numbers. Now let's chat about why is this happening?
Well, and that's a great question, Glenn. So I mean, when we look at detached, so let's just look at this. So this was for the month of February.
Mhm.
Uh Detached only, active and sold, there was 1,688 active and 1,905 sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're just eating through that little bit of a backlog of inventory that we have. And
Mhm.
this is all purely speculation, of course. But when we look at what was happening last year, well, all of a sudden prices started jumping, and that lack of inventory was there. A lot of people who were considering putting their homes on the market put their homes on the market and sold,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
A lot
Yeah.
of conversations that I had with people were along those lines that, we're doing it now.
Mhm.
Now's the time, as
Yeah.
opposed to waiting until later. So now we're coming into our spring, which is usually a bit of a rush of listings.
Yeah.
And we are seeing an increase, but is the increase enough to satisfy the demand that's out there?
Yeah.
That's the question that remains to be answered here.
Well, I can give you a little insight from my perspective too. Is that as a listing specialist, I deal with a lot of seller meetings, and I would say the minority of people that are planning to sell their homes are people that are not also planning to buy. And what I mean is, a lot of people whose homes I'm listing right now are their extra homes, their extra inventory, their rental properties that they've owned for years, or they're moving out of town, those kind of reasons. Like, I would say it's like 1 out of 8 or 10 are actually wanting to sell their existing home and buy another one, which, by the way, is the wrong order nowadays. You got to buy one first and then you sell your house, because buying is trickier than selling. Um, and then we also had a great team meeting today, actually, with the team that Justin Haver and Associates. It's always neck and, is it neck in neck or neck and neck?
Neck
Something
and
like
neck.
that. With out of Ontario, they're the Peggy Hill team. So Peggy Hill was on our team meeting this morning, giving us a perspective of what the market is like in Ontario. And she's out of Barrie, is that right, Dan?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so but they have a really large area that they cover, and she says, years ago she remembers thinking, and everybody thinking, "Wow, prices are going up like crazy, and there's no way these prices can go up anymore." But they did, and they kept going. So that's one interesting thing that she shared with us, because that is a lot of the sentiment here. It's like, and I even feel like that. I'm like, wow, 650 for that home when it was, 500 last year, or 550. Like, okay, we've hit the ceiling. There's no way this is going to keep going up. But there's a lot of signs that show they could, and they very well may. Additionally, she talked about Calgary, and how word on the street out in Ontario is Calgary is the hot ticket item right now. I was even recently at a meeting with a potential seller who shared with me that on some ethnic specific radio channels out there, there's a commercial every time there's a commercial break of some real estate company trying to encourage people to invest in Calgary right now. And that's and we are seeing just a ton of people from Ontario, from BC. We think our homes are expensive here, don't we, Dan? But we
They're
just
not
don't
in
know.
comparison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think we'll go into some more details. We'll break it down at a different angle here next month, which is just a couple weeks away. But final thoughts from you, Dan?
Final thoughts from me. Well, it's still interesting. This is all really in its infancy, and it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds, I guess, with our market as we start to go into the spring and summer months. This is in my opinion, this is still a great opportunity.
Yeah. What advice would you give, Dan, to buyers out there that are like on the fence, because they're like, we're thinking we're just going to wait to buy when things slow down a little bit?
So I may have mentioned this briefly on the last one we did as well. I myself purchased again here to get into another investment property, and I wanted to get into that before the Bank of Canada hikes by another 0.5%, because they're saying that they are going to before the end of this year. It'll probably be sooner rather than later, because they do want to see our markets, our economy balance out a little bit before the beginning of next year. So I wanted to get in before that, because higher price, higher interest rate, well, I'd rather pay a little bit of a higher price than a higher interest rate for the next 25 years, right? So if I can lock in, that's what I'm going to do. And that's just my opinion. Is it the right time to buy, the right time to sell? That the answer to that is going to vary based upon your personal situation. So to be able to reach out to us, have that conversation, and we'll be able to get a better idea of how to answer that question, because it's not the same all the way across the city or for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, then I think we could talk for an hour easily.
Yeah.
I think people will start clicking stop by then on the video. So we'll leave it at that, because we're back in a couple weeks. We won't be late next time. Sorry, everybody. Keep calling us if you have any questions, email, anything like that. But we'll see you in a little bit. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Glenn.
Bye.